So welcome everyone to the 2020 Physics REU workshop. The first session in our event, which is we named Potential REU Sites Intro to the NPRLG and Discussion. This is an event that was co-organized between the NPRLG, which I will be introducing in a little bit for those of you who are not familiar with it, and APS, along with NSF funding. I first want to acknowledge the organizers of this event. So we have two individuals from the APS, Brianne Clash and Monica Plish, who were central in putting together everything from logistics to getting everything to work in terms of technical aspects, as well as Aaron Geller and Brianna Mount, who come from the NPRLG. So Aaron from Northwestern University, Brianna from Black Hills State University, and myself, I'm coming from the University of Maryland. So we are current leadership in the NPRLG, and you'll be hearing a little bit about that from Aaron tomorrow when he gives a broader intro about the NPRLG parts. But I just wanted to acknowledge everyone that was involved in this event. So the schedule for the rest of this will be today, of course, from now till 5, we'll be talking about NPRLG and some discussion related to potential REU sites. Tomorrow at noon, these are in Eastern, there'll be a welcome session with lightning intros by everyone that's attending and some discussions about what we care about and what we want to be discussing moving forward into the future. There will be then at 1:30 p.m. A session on supporting and recruiting underrepresented minorities. And then on Saturday at 11, we have a session on common assessment. So this is the idea of how do we come together as REU programs or undergrad research programs to see how we perform as a community and develop ways of understanding our performance together and doing it collaboratively. Then at 12:45, we will be talking about what we want to do in the next coming year, common and collaborative initiatives. And then at 1:15, there will be an opportunity for everyone to do more one-on-one type of networking. We'll be talking about how we do that later on. But also between now and during all these sessions and between sessions and after, we have developed a Slack workspace for discussion, asynchronous discussion. So for those of you who have not joined, you can follow this link, go.umd.edu/REU Slack, and you should be able to reach the Slack workspace. If you need more instructions on this, just feel free to reach out to me by email at DSV, and maybe I'll just go to the chat and type it, actually. You can reach out to me here. Or you can check out the email you should have received with instructions about this event that will have detailed steps on how to get to the REU Slack and how to use it. A little bit of how we're going to work through today. Just if you have any comments, I'm happy to just have you unmute yourself if you want to say something. If you don't feel comfortable with that, feel free to type in the chat. We should have someone monitoring it. So since I'm getting the presentation, I don't have easy access to see if anyone typed in the chat. So I apologize if I don't immediately answer any questions that go to the chat. But just so you're aware, I don't mind having someone unmute yourself and just say, hey, Daniel, I have a question or a comment. So what are we going to do today? What's the purpose of us coming together today? First of all, I wanted to acknowledge who is here, and we don't have time to just do a one-by-one introduction to the entire set of those who are here today. And to compensate for that, we've created a little bit of a breakout room type of interaction section of today that will be happening in a little bit. But I do want to kind of like broadly say who is here today. So today we have institutions and/or departments interested in starting a new REU site, institutions and departments interested in collaborating with existing REU sites, And we also have existing REU sites. So we have some with knowledge about this that we can sort of like use as a template for discussion on practices and to help answer questions or engage in conversation. We also have the NSF Physics REU Program Officer, Edmundo Garcia and Kathy McLeod. And maybe you might want to just unmute yourselves and say something at this point, if you wish to do so.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, you're muted again now.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. Okay. Thank you, Daniel, for giving the opportunity to meet the group and introduce myself. My name is Edmundo Garcia Solis, and I'm the program director for integrative activities in physics, which is the program that overviews the REU program. I'm a rotator. I'm filling Kathy for 1 year while she's in the front office. And my home institution is Chicago State University. And this is my second rotation at NSF. My first rotation was a couple of years ago in nuclear physics. So just to be brief, nice to meet you. And I don't know, a little bit later, if you have any particular questions, just let me know, and we'll have time to talk.
Thanks.
I saw Kathy for 1 second, and then I think she left. So
okay. All right. So maybe we'll hear. Maybe she'll come back for the group discussion part, and she can talk at that point. So then, at this point, then I want to then go into a brief intro about the NPRLG, just to provide some context to those of you who don't know about us, and be able to engage in the later conversations with a more informed frame of mind. Then we're going to do this breakout room activity. Oh, by the way, at this point, feel free to just use the chat to say hi and identify yourself, where you're coming from, or anything like that, just to kind of like compensate a little bit for this lack of one-by-one intros. And so then we're going to go into breakout rooms. At this point, I ask that anyone who is representing an existing REU site, please rename yourself in Zoom by adding an E in front of your name, so that we know you are existing REU site. And this will help with the breakout room setup in a little bit when I'm done with the intro to NPRLG. And then after this breakout room discussion, then we're just going to come together as an entire group and do this part of where, like, we've identified some questions, and then we can use the knowledge of Edmundo, Kathy, and all the existing REU sites to try to field some of those. So the NPRLG is a group of currently about 55 REU sites across the United States, and we have a map of those as of sometime earlier this year here, just to give you a sense of where some of the sites are at. And so the way that the group is formed is basically once somebody receives this is as of now, it is related to NSF funded REU sites. So once once an institution obtains a grant through NSF to run an REU, then they become part of this group, and then they engage in all the activities that we represent. So we work with the APS and with NSF. So like some of the activities are funded by NSF through APS, like for example, part of this event and some of the other events that we do. There is a website associated with NPRLG in case you're interested in learning a little bit more about it. And so let me just go to that site. Unfortunately, the URL is a little bit long, so you can simply Google NPRLG or APS NPRLG to reach it. It should show up in your first result. And so this website just gives a little bit more information about NPRLG. It shows the leadership. It has that map of current sites. And it also has, importantly, I wanted to point out that it has some more information, for example, some reports from previous events. So if you're really interested in digging deep into the activities of the NPRLG, you can go to this little section here and learn more about what has been done in the past, and even some reports about what has been discussed previously. So let me just go back here. So the goal of this group is very simple: to collaborate between each other to improve the undergrad research experience. And in order to kind of like frame that a little bit better, I want to provide a perspective of how we view REUs, the way that REUs work. So to think about the core aspects of REUs, what is important when running a program, an REU program? The first aspect is recruitment. This is very important, thinking about uh, how you're going to approach recruitment, what types of different subpopulations of students you might be interested in attracting to your program, and how you're going to actually approach this through like in terms of like outlets. And then this leads into the program itself, which I represent here through this big circle, which involves mentored research. So that's one of the main components of an REU, to give the opportunity for undergraduate students to do research for a given period of time under the mentorship of someone that is an expert in a given field or subfield. But also provide the students with professional development opportunities that will prepare them to perform that research in a way that is meaningful, in a way that leads them to being able to advance in their careers. And so there's like the expectation that these programs will also have professional development in communication, ethics, career preparation. And also recognizing that it's important to develop a network between the students that are participating and build a community between them. So this is an important component of an REU. And I use this kind of like, in some ways, it's kind of cheesy to use a Venn diagram, but it's in this case, I think it's very important to recognize that some of these activities do blend with each other, in different ways. And so creatively, programs think about how they can put these together and have the different activities synergize with each other. And I put all of these inside of this circle that leads to student support. And so it's important not just to bring in some students and do research at a given campus, but also to create these activities in a way that is thoughtful, that respectfully provides these opportunities to students that have differences between each other and that have different types of needs. So the student support part is very important to think about. And then we also then think about what happens when the opportunity is over, developing some sort of program assessment plan to understand how the students benefited from the program and how to improve the program, tracking the success of these students and being able to understand how the program is impacting them. And also, in some cases, trying to provide support for the success of the students after they are done with the program. And so as you can see, this is very complex and all of the pieces are quite important for an REU to be successful. So we need a community to talk about these things and to like share how we do each of these aspects and share ideas about how they are done in the best way possible. So that's what we do. And how do we do it? Well, we share and discuss knowledge, resources, and ideas through creating a virtual community, through developing events like this one, or like 2 workshops that happened earlier in 2008 and 2016. And in addition to just sharing these things and kind of like creating a community and networking opportunities, then we also do some things together, like plan recruitment initiatives or attend events collectively to do recruitment for our programs, or develop program evaluation initiatives that collaborate between different REU sites. So, with this goal in mind of collaborating to improve undergraduate research experience, we don't want to restrict all these efforts to just existing REU sites. We want to think about how can institutions and departments that are interested in creating an REU site or an REU experience, how can they also get something out of all this stuff that we are developing, right? So we are thinking about ways in which we can share, discuss knowledge, resources, and ideas, and bring into our communities and events, and do things together with non-existing REU sites, along with some other potentially new activities like giving spaces to create partnerships, to create connections and networking. And we want to know what else. So that's the point of today. I'm a little bit already over the time that I was expecting to use for this, so let's move quickly into the core part of today, which is discussing things, hearing from sites that are or institutions that are interested in starting an REU site, or that might be interested in collaborating with existing REU sites. And so in order to do that, we will be going into breakout rooms. Let me just exit this presentation so that I can give you a little bit of a sense of how the logistics are going to work. So I've created this Google Doc that has a list of links for different breakout rooms. And I'm posting it into the chat, so please follow that link so that you can be ready. We are going to assign some breakout rooms, so you will receive a breakout room that has a number. Once you get the number of your breakout room, simply follow the link that has the assignment of that same room that you were assigned in, and that means that everyone in the breakout room will end up in the same document. And so let me give you a sense of what that document will contain. So that document will just be this. Each of the documents has this information. It just says what the goals of the breakout room discussion are, which is introduce each other, and then identify some key questions and topics regarding needs and interests of potential REU sites, so that we can then come as a group and discuss these things and answer questions through those who have the experience. And so just go ahead, once we create the breakout rooms, read this part, read the questions, and get started with some discussion. We ask that someone, either you collectively or one person, takes notes in this document, because we will be putting together a report of the event at the end, so that everyone, and including those that attended that want to revise the discussion, or those that didn't attend, have a chance to see what these all of these questions and concerns and discussions were about. So with that said, I think I'll open the room for any potential questions before we head into breakout rooms. But otherwise, then you will just follow this document, and we'll see you again back here after about 15 minutes to have a broad group discussion.